I want you to think back to a time when you would spend $30, $45, maybe even $60 on some DLC for one of your favorite games. For some of you, that was probably last week, but for many of you, that probably was many years ago. I remember paying around $30 for the expansion of one of my favorite MMORPGs. I was so excited to explore the new area, check out the new weapons and new skills I was unlocking. It really felt like I was getting my money's worth out of the content that I was playing. Now I'll ask a question. When was the last time that you truly felt like you had gotten value out of what you paid for when it comes to a video game? Go ahead and put that down in the comments. I'd really be interested. All this brings us to the present, where most games today are either free to play with microtransactions or a $60 plus price point for a hit title. But let's talk about what we're actually paying for. Season passes, or battle passes, have become a staple of the gaming industry. It was kicked off by games like PUBG, but brought into the mainstream by Fortnite. For just $10, you could unlock unique cosmetics for your character. From back blings to pickaxes, there was something cool for everyone. I played Fortnite religiously through chapters 1 and 2, and have played sporadically ever since. So I don't want to sit here and say that all Fortnite gave players was flashy cosmetics. In the early years of the game, Fortnite had a lot of different content to add to their Battle Royale mode, like new weapons, gadgets, and the like. It kept me playing for a long time because there were cool things you could do, like challenges that unlocked, you guessed it, more cosmetics. But at least those are all still free. So where am I going with this? Every other game has added this seasonal pass model and has been passing it off as content. Destiny had its fair share of seasonal dilemmas where you had to purchase the pass to unlock exotic weapons, which in my opinion looked a lot like pay to win. Back in the day, Halo 5 Guardians had a terrible requisition system in Warzone where you would buy these packs that could stack up power-ups like weapons, better vehicles, and so on. Again, in my opinion, it seemed pretty pay to win. Halo 5 wasn't a free-to-play game though, so I understand 343 had to get its money from somewhere. It seemed like the other studios have found a way to heavily squeeze every last dollar out of their players and disguise it as content that you're encouraged to buy if you want the full experience. In reality, studios are getting away with this because they are capitalizing on the natural fear of missing out. FOMO has been talked about in the video game industry a lot in the last couple of years, and no matter what seems to happen, companies keep using it to sell more things. Game studios have started primarily creating battle passes with the intent to increase the fear of missing out instead of creating a game that is worth playing and then adding a battle pass to supplement. Let's use Overwatch 2 as an example. I know this game has had nothing but controversy after broken promises, but let's try not to think about the scrapped PvE mode that was promised. You have a 5v5 PvP game that centers around a few modes: Push, your classic escort the payload map, and now Flashpoint. I know the community didn't like the 2 capture point mode, but it actually was one of my favorite. Please don't come after me. When Blizzard moved to seasonal content, they added heroes behind a paywall, which as of recently, they properly got backlash for and went back on that decision. So these season passes are cosmetic only, with no real changes to how the game plays and no new permanent game modes. To the suits in the boardroom, cosmetics are content. To move into this a little further, Overwatch 2, as of 5 or 6 months ago, has made over $225 million in revenue with over 50 million active users. If that doesn't tell you that they are pushing cosmetic store content, I don't know what does. Now, sure, you will probably get an attempted class or weapon balance patch depending on each game you choose to play, so I'll ask another question. Why are you paying for the seasonal passes? It seems like gamers these days are fine with believing in paying for cosmetics without actually experiencing any difference in gameplay. And at first, I didn't think this mattered at all. Like, why do I care how people spend their money? And in all honesty, it's not that I care, I'm just stunned. As people who play video games for fun, I figured the players would vote more with their wallets, and I guess they already did. Blizzard, Epic Games, and other studios generate millions of dollars selling battle passes as content for their free games, which from a business perspective makes sense. I won't deny that. However, from a player's perspective, how are we okay with that? Now, I'm not saying you're some degenerate loser for buying a cool looking skin every once in a while. I have purchased a lot of skins in my gaming journey, but it seems like buying the latest cosmetics is the content, and that's annoying to me. You used to be getting your money's worth out of the games you played from a purely enjoyment enjoyment level perspective, because the gameplay loop would be solid and the cosmetics could enhance that experience. I stopped buying season passes for things like Apex Legends and Fortnite because they didn't add any value to my personal gaming experience. Now that's not to say they don't provide value for others, different strokes for different folks I guess. This all comes back to the video title. Season passes are not content, and it's kind of crazy to think that they could be. I suck just as much in Overwatch whether I'm playing with the base Widow skin or the Summer Games skin, but I definitely feel some type of way whenever I see a nice Widowmaker skin, the hottest character in Overwatch. While doing research for this video, I was asking myself, why did I even buy battle passes for Fortnite all those years ago? And after thinking about it for a while, I came to a conclusion. The game felt complete, well-rounded, and I was playing with friends. I was really enjoying my time. I remember being so annoyed that I didn't do enough challenges to get the purple lights for the Omega skin. My cousin Kevin will forever haunt me for that. And to me at the time, that was a goal worth pursuing. So here's another question for you. What made you buy your first battle pass? Going a bit on the negative here, season passes or battle passes have become an excuse for game studios to release an unfinished product. A great example of this is the absolute rush job that was Halo Infinite. 343 Industries released Halo in 2021 after many delays and change in direction. I believe that it technically released as a multiplayer beta, and in a beta, that would mean that the fully fleshed out and finished product would be on the way, right? Ha! Wrong. They did release, however, the first seasonal pass, the Heroes of Reach. I'm not going to get into the botched way the XP gain was at that time, but the point that I'm making was that a battle pass was released, cosmetic only, before the game was even completed. 343 was able to rake in cash for a game that wasn't even finished, and it arguably wasn't finished until this year, 2024. That is absolutely mind-blowing to me. A lot of players were fed up with this, so I'm not going to go into a history lesson of Halo Infinite. And I'm not saying that every game does this, but it does seem like a majority of games that adapt to this seasonal model are either trying to release as little content as possible for maximum profit, or maybe it's a company that needs to release a game before it's ready. So they just slap a pass and then pray to God that people will play long enough for more content to be released. Here's a thought. Why not just release a finished product and give players a reason to buy a pass outside of the fear of missing out? It should be noted that in Halo Infinite now, you can jump from pass to pass once you've purchased it, so you don't have to worry about missing out on the items that you already paid for. So there's that. Which fundamentally, season passes are a little bit broken in that regard. You can spend $10, sometimes even $25 depending on the pass level that you buy, but if you don't complete what's in the pass by the time the season's up, you're generally locked out of that content forever. So not only have you paid for some content, if you don't finish that content after a certain amount of time, it's just gone. You didn't get your money's worth out of it. And I would be hesitant to put that on the player. Everyone has different life situations. People have jobs and other life obligations, but it would be nice to know that if I put in $10, maybe even $20, I could still complete the pass whenever I had time, instead of shirking my responsibilities just to get to level 148.
Babe, come back to bed!
Not now, darling. I'm not done with my online banking.
In the end, companies are going to continue to do this. I don't think the seasonal model is going away from video games anytime soon, and I think that there's definitely a place for them in games. I just would like to see them more as a supplementary part of the video game and not what the whole game is based around for a particular time. So I'll ask one last question before wrapping up the video. In the games you play that have seasonal models or battle passes, do you buy them anymore? Have you started buying them? Tell me why in the comment section down below. I would love to get your feedback on what you think of this topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Noble, and I will see you guys in the next one.